Hi there.
Hey.
Welcome to Bible/Chat. How are you guys doing? We're talking about some of the issues that are facing the church today.
Yeah.
We've got issues along the lines of denominations and what's
Mm-hmm.
happening in the SBC. A lot of chaos. And then last time we talked about the history of the church in the 20th century and
Yeah.
how, in some ways, some of what's happening today is sort of like already sort of foreshadowed
Right.
in some of what happened
Cycles.
early on. Yeah, the cycles of the church. So
Yeah.
that's kind of given rise, at the end of the last video, you said something about, the state of the church in America and some of the concerning things that we're seeing.
Yeah. And so, in light of that, I want to talk about an American church phenomenon.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think more so than anything else. Not that you can't have it in other countries, but like this. There's been a lot written about celebrity pastors, especially in the internet age.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of a lot of it for bad reasons,
Yeah,
obviously, right? When
Totally.
you're talking about it, usually that's a good reason. It wouldn't be on the news if it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just a good thing. But a lot of celebrity pastors, maybe younger guys even, not just younger, but
Yeah.
rising meteorically and then falling meteorically.
Yeah, exactly.
What do we make of that?
Yeah,
How do we
for sure.
assess that? Yeah, biblically.
That phenomenon.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of think of you as a celebrity pastor. Jason.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm just
I'm an
teasing.
influencer.
You are, absolutely. No, you are an influencer, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I
very.
mean, this is the problem. So
Yeah.
the problem in
Yeah.
the American church is that, and I mean, there's a lot of factors that have led to it, but,
Yeah.
I think the church rightly has honored guys who were biblical and
Yeah,
sound, and,
yeah.
so there are guys who are just really famous pastors, and helpfully so. R.C. Sproul and John MacArthur, and even earlier in the previous generation, Martin Lloyd-Jones,
Yep.
and before him, Spurgeon and
Yep.
others. So Machen,
Yeah.
famous guys, big
Yep.
influence.
Yep.
It just so happens that now in our current culture and because of technology, as you were
Yeah.
saying, the internet,
Yeah.
the ability to become an influencer, to go viral, so to speak, as a pastor is just more open. And
It is. Yeah.
And with the rise of social media, the ability to make your voice heard
Yeah.
is even greater.
I know.
And so
Right,
what it's
right.
done is it's led to a culture where pastors, I think, can be very, very pulled toward, making their voice heard on Twitter and all these
Yeah.
different things, and being influencers, so to speak, having a wide audience, and so there's a pressure for that. Obviously, there's pride in every human heart. It's
course.
easy to be pulled that way.
Sure.
And so it's led to this, and that I think. And then mix that with a very incendiary time culturally, with politics and all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that kind of floats together into this one sort of morass of pain in the current
Yeah.
evangelical
Yeah,
church.
yeah,
So people vilifying each other,
Yeah.
condemning each other publicly, lots of stuff written, and that it's become a very controversial time. So.
Yeah.
And it's all moving so quickly that it's hard to even keep up with it.
It is.
The speed at which the denominations and the speed at which the church in America is changing,
Yeah.
and fracturing,
Yeah.
splitting,
Yeah.
attacking itself. And so, I think the celebrityism in the church initially began like in a way that is maybe even understandable and
Right,
healthy,
right.
But it's kind of risen into this this very, very dangerous situation for the church.
Yeah.
Even it's interesting, like a guy like John Piper, he writes a book called Brothers Were Not Professionals, like sort of decrying the professionalism of the ministry.
Yep.
But then he quit his church, stopped being a pastor, and just became a professional preacher. So
Yeah.
it's like very interesting how those like the culture has moved in a certain way. We love Piper, there's nothing wrong with that, but just how the culture's kind of drifted that way. You
Right.
know?
Right.
Away from local church pastoring, more toward that, like making your voice heard and that sort of thing.
We have these national voices that are like statesmen for our wing of the church.
Totally,
and every
yeah.
wing obviously has their own.
Yeah.
But I guess the follow-up question to that then would be not so much the why, but I think you touched upon that. But like, how do but like you're like a regular, ordinary pastor, local church guy. Nothing. You're not going to be famous. That at least as far as we know, that person's not. Let's just say, a hypothetical pastor of a local church. Like he's not in any danger, right? Or is he? Like, how does he guard himself from that? Yeah. Is he in danger? And how do you guard yourself from trying to be that?
Everybody's in danger.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And that I think is so clear.
Yeah.
And then because there's this pull, like I think in every human heart, there's that tendency to sin, like
of course,
widening influence. And on one level, it's not bad because you're saying like, hey, I want to help these people understand the Bible in the perspective from which I come, and I want to help them to see it. And so I think that's actually a healthy thing in one sense.
Yeah.
But then it becomes an issue of influence and church size and how many churches, how many satellite campuses and all this stuff that can kind of just very quickly explode into, from pride into very chaotic things.
Yeah.
I think the best way to protect ourselves against it is just to, number one, repent and guard our hearts from that, right?
Yeah.
What is our motive, right? If our motive is the glory of Christ, then that'll protect us. The glory of Christ protects
regardless
us.
of how big your church gets.
Yeah, big or small, it doesn't matter, And I remember there's that famous quote by Richard Baxter, when the young pastor gets his position, and he says, when you get the position, you'll be sad to see it's only whatever it is,
right,
80 congregants or whatever it is. But he says, when you stand before Christ and give an account for their souls, you'll be happy it was small congregation. So I think that's actually the best way to approach it, is to remind as pastors, we've got to remind ourselves, I got to give an account for everyone who's under me. I have to stand before Christ for the souls that are under me, and so that's a terrifying thing. Like the influence that He wants us to have is the influence that He's given us, and that's plenty, whatever it is.
Right. So your takeaway is get a big church.
Exactly. Yeah, get a big church. Hire a great associate pastor. Where can I find one of those? Just
offer up.
Anyway, but I think guarding our hearts, protecting ourselves with the glory of Christ, those things.
Yeah. And
then as a normal congregant, if you're just a guy in church and you're like, hey, what about all these celebrity pastors? I would say, hey, that's a great thing, so long as they're conservative. Like, listen to them. Yeah, that's awesome. These are like amazing communicators.
We have so many resources.
Yeah, totally. So, which is a good and healthy thing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, serve your local church, love your local church. Submit yourself to your local leaders in your church. Those are the things that are actually the most important things for your Christian life.
Right.
Not who you listen to on your drive to work.
Exactly.
MacArthur, Piper.
Yeah.
Some of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very helpful.
There you go. That's
good.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Hope that's helpful.